NYPD officer Jacob Saba repeatedly molested the daughter of a friend beginning when the girl was just 10 years old until she was 13 on a monthly basis when he stayed the night at her family's house. At the time he was an auxiliary officer, but later was hired on as a full-time officer with the New York Police Department. In spite of being convicted of the egregious and repeated sexual abuse of the young girl, he still received his policeman's discount. Last week, Judge Alan Maris sentenced Saba to just 3 years in prison, which is just slightly more than the amount of time he molested the girl before she managed to escape his abuse when the family moved to Israel. Via a press release from Brooklyn District Attorney Ken Thompson, according to trial testimony, the defendant, Jacob Saba, 34, of Midwood, Brooklyn, was a family friend of the victim and would sleep over at the victim's home in Flatbush approximately every month. The investigation revealed that on each of these visits, between June 2005, when the victim was 10, and March 2008, when the victim was 13, the defendant repeatedly groped and fondled her and, on occasion, forced her to reciprocate. The defendant went on to join the police force in 2009. He was fired from the force after his conviction this past June. The victim and her family moved out of the country and, when she was 16, the victim told her mother about the past abuse. The case was reported to authorities in the country where the victim lived and later referred to the district attorney's victim services unit. In addition to the lenient sentence, Officer Saba was also released pending an appeal in spite of the nature of his crimes and warnings that he may flee the country to avoid serving any prison time at all. Via the New York Daily News, Jacob Saba pleaded for mercy from Brooklyn Supreme Court Justice Alan Maris, insisting he hadn't done anything wrong, despite the secretly recorded phone conversations that helped put him away. "I am innocent. These allegations are false. This might have happened, but not with me. I believe in God and don't know why this is happening to me," Saba cried. But his victim, now 21, said Saba's disgusting acts changed my life. His sickness changed my life. I trusted him. My family trusted him. He took advantage of me, my vulnerability and trust, she said. At 14, I felt like a terrible person for letting this happen. I beat myself up, he drained me of my life, she said, asking the judge to think of her younger self when deciding an appropriate sentence. The judge showed Saba some mercy, sentencing him to less than half the maximum of 7 years. Child molestation is a serious crime. I can't ignore this. I'm looking at a total loss for both of you. No sentence is going to be completely justified, but jail is appropriate, Maris said. The judge also granted a request from Saba's new lawyer Michael Sosnick that his client be allowed to remain free on bail while he appeals the conviction, a process that could take another year. Prosecutors vigorously objected to the request because Saba may flee and will be a sex offender in limbo out in the community. I'm looking at a total loss for both of you. In case you missed that bit of wisdom from Judge Maris within the quoted text. It's a good thing he ensured that he didn't cause too much hardship for Saba when he sentenced him. He's surely suffered enough.